Hi, I'm Stephanie, and this is my story. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and come from a family of 4. I feel like I've been kind of enjoying and living life to the fullest. At least I can say that in my childhood. Everything was great. Was really involved in my church and really found a lot of purpose in being involved in my church. I knew that full-time ministry is everything that I wanted to do, everything. And fast forward to today, that's what I'm doing. Full-time ministry with my husband. We are youth pastors and I'm a worship leader. And I just love my life. And I love my husband to bits. He was really an answer to prayer. Growing up, I had always prayed, God, I don't want to change my last name when I get married. I want my husband to come out of my church. And I want him to have the same relationship with my pastors that I have, because they were like parents to me. And so God truly did answer every last one of those things, even down to me keeping my last name. I said, God, when I get married, I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to get divorced. That's not something that I'm gonna endure in my life. So I need you to answer these prayers and show up in that area. And he did. He made good on every last thing. And one of the dreams that I always had growing up was to be a mom. I just knew that I was gonna have 10 kids, 8 of my own, and I was gonna adopt 2. And fast forward from the time we got married to now, we don't have any kids. My husband and I have always felt like we were called to be parents, called to have babies. We've been married 12 years and haven't gotten pregnant. And you know, we were taking our time. We never used birth control. We just always felt like it'll happen when it happens. When we got married, we had gone through just a lot. We relocated to do ministry in North Carolina, and that was hard. We were there 5 months and then ended up moving back home. And when we got back home, I had just noticed I had been having a ton of hot flashes, and ended up going to the doctor and learning that I had Graves' disease. My mom had it, and it's a hereditary thing, and I ended up having it. And something that I had noticed, this was like 5 months into our marriage, I had noticed that I had just one white spot under my armpit. Realized that as time was going on that the white spot started spreading. And I was like, what in the world is happening? I learned that it was vitiligo, and that just really kind of sent me into this spiral of, oh my God, what is happening to me? Who am I? You know, growing up, everything had come so easily. I was super popular. I loved people. People loved me. I was like out in front a lot. But when the vitiligo started, I just got really depressed, and I wanted to stay home all the time. I didn't want to go anywhere. And so I just really started to question a lot about the Lord and His goodness and why He would let things like this happen to me. Time is going on, years are going by, we're not getting pregnant. I end up going to a doctor to kind of start getting things checked out, seeing what's wrong, and got diagnosed with PCOS. Lots of stuff going on in that area that I just was like, what in the world? What are fibroids? What's PCOS? Didn't even know, but all of this stuff was going on in my body that I really started to get frustrated with the Lord and was like, God, why? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is my body turning on me? Why isn't it working like you have commanded our bodies to work? What did I do wrong? What am I doing? And I found that oftentimes in ministry, I felt like I would lie. I would be lying to our students when I'd be telling them, and we'd be singing about the goodness of God and that you can trust Him, and that you can depend on Him, because he's faithful and he's good and he wants good things for you. I'm like, how can I be preaching this to our students and to people and not seeing that in my own life, not seeing his goodness, not seeing him deliver on his promises to make me a mom, to give us children, to make us fruitful. His command is that we be fruitful and multiply, and I can't do that. What's going on? I feel like it's been just an ongoing struggle to trust him. I have kind of convinced myself that, you know what, I don't need kids. I tell my husband, honey, if you just get me a dog, like, I'll be okay. I will completely be fine. I'll be content. And I felt like I was kind of letting God off the hook. You didn't show up for me on that promise, so I'm gonna let you off the hook and just get a dog and I'll be fine. My husband was telling me he heard something the other day that a pastor in California said that all things work together for the good of those that love God and are called according to his purpose. And he said that if it's not good, it's not the end. That's one thing that I've just had to hold on to and trust God that he's not finished. This is not the end of our story. And my husband just challenged me, because when I was telling him the bit about just get me a dog and I'll be fine, he's like, well, you know what? I'm not fine with that. So it's been a journey, because that was a lesson that I had to learn, that he and I need to be in agreement. Our prayers have to align. Really, what we want is legacy. We feel like the Lord has promised us some things, and we want a legacy. We want to leave our mark in this world, whether it's through children that we birth naturally or that we adopt. We feel like we've got something to impart and leave behind to impact this world. So I need to make sure that what I want in my prayers are in alignment with what he is wanting and what the Lord has for us. I can't let God off the hook, and God doesn't want me to let him off the hook. He's like, try me in this, and that's even in giving. He's like, see that I don't pour out blessing. When you give, when you're faithful, see that I don't pour out blessing. Open up the windows of heaven and pour blessing into your life. And so I just feel like I have to be faithful in every area, in my service to him, in my trusting him, and believing his word, in my giving, and everything that I do. God's going to be faithful to me, but he's just like, try me. But I have to be consistent in my belief in him and what he has promised me and what he says he'll do. As a worshiper and as a worship leader, sometimes I will neglect that as a weapon and as a gift that the Lord has given me to really utilize in hard times. And what I have to remind myself to do is always worship, always run to the Lord, even when I'm depressed or not happy or doubting. Like, worship is my weapon. Worship is what I can do to encourage myself in the Lord, to remind him of who he is to me. I feel like I can run into his presence and just like cry out and pour out all that I am carrying, and just give that to him, and he in turn fills me with peace and joy and hope, and I can move forward in spite of what I'm walking through. Whether I have babies or not, he still deserves my worship. He deserves everything that I can give to him, because he's done so much for me. And I still feel like, even if I never have kids, which this has been a place that I've had to get to, I never have kids, God is still good. He's still on the throne. He still deserves all my love and affection and devotion. And I can do that. I can give him that. It's unthinkable. Only heaven knows just how far you'd go.